Who wants to step into the pocket? Do you have what it takes? And now, the Pocket Presence Podcast, presented by FRESHOUSE Juice Bar and PILBROIII Inc.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Pocket Presence Podcast. I'm your host, Dante DiTomastis, alongside my co-host, Nick Saps.
Hello.
And here we are today, wide receiver filled edition for you. But before we start, we'd like to thank our sponsors, FRESHOUSE Juice Bar. Check them out, guys. Go to Mike. They got two locations, one at Pine Valley and Highway 7, and the other one at Kiel and Major Mac. Unbelievable for a nutritional extravaganza. Literally, it's a production.
Great words.
Unbelievable. Go to Mike. Check them out. And, of course, we'd like to thank our sponsors, PILBROIII Inc. PILBROIII Inc. The PILBROIII family is unbelievable. They've been around for 30 years doing business. Absolutely incredible. They build homes, not houses. And Nick, here we are. Another podcast.
Yep.
Talked about the running backs last week.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're at the wide receivers.
Yep.
We're at the big time. Who do you think's that guy this year? Who are we looking at? Who are we targeting for wide receivers?
Who are we targeting early, mid, or late? What are you talking about?
All of the above.
All of the above? Early, there's always your top 3 to 5 guys in the first round. You got Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins. A few other guys are on the come up, of course. One of the names that come to mind is Chris Godwin for sure. He's had 2 good seasons.
I love him this year.
2 years ago, and last year he was an absolute stud. Had him on my teams. Brought me to the finals and some fantasy gold. So, I mean, if you can get Chris Godwin, go get him. You?
I love it. I mean, personally, I'm a monstrous fan of DeAndre Hopkins this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he can gel with Kyler Murray,
Right.
it's going to be absolutely sensational.
Yeah, that is going to be a pretty
in
unstoppable.
that division. I'm also going to be targeting a lot of Seahawks wide receivers.
Okay.
I am in love with DK Metcalf this year.
All right.
I think just the way that guy looks, I mean, he's just a physical specimen.
Yeah, he looks
absolutely
crazy.
incredible, this guy. But, yeah, there's a lot to look forward to with wide receivers this year.
Absolutely.
I think some of them have a lot more potential in PPR leagues now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're starting to see Michael Thomas get a ton of targets. Like,
Yep.
the targets were just raking up for him last year.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could see that production more from wide receivers, then people got to, they have that contradiction now. Do I go running back first down, the traditional 2 running backs, or we start to going to go wide receiver first, 2 wide receivers? It's an interesting mix this year.
Absolutely, and a lot of one of the new techniques that's being taught in fantasy football nowadays, especially with a lot of the running backs and a lot of the teams going by committee, is the 0 running back strategy. So you just target in the first couple of rounds. You want to target 3 number 1 wideouts that are going to get you a lot of volume. And if you want to target a tight end in there, like a Kittle or a Kelsey, I mean, absolutely go for it.
Yeah.
But you're starting to see that strategy more and more in fantasy.
Exactly. And
fantasy
we'll get the
drafts.
tight ends a lot next week. But
Right.
For now, I think it's awesome. Nick, I got to move forward to you.
Yeah.
We talked about the quarterbacks in the first week, but who do you think's that beautiful relationship that you're looking forward to this year between quarterback and wide receiver?
Okay, so I'll do, I guess, one from the AFC, and then I'll get to my NFC one. AFC, it's pretty unanimous in my opinion. I think it's Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, because Mahomes can launch that ball 50, 60 yards down the field, and all Tyreek Hill has to do is run under it, and he's long gone. He's doing his peace sign on his way to the end zone.
That's it.
I think that's my AFC one for sure. And in the NFC, I mean, I don't want to say it because it's pretty obvious, but Drew Brees and Michael Thomas, he's going to catch you 5-yard slants, 3-yard screens, 15-yard outs, curls, posts, you name it. That's Drew Brees' security blanket, and he's got hands. I haven't seen him drop many.
No. Michael Thomas is a rock, guys. He's clearly the best wide receiver right now, and he's just absolutely incredible. Nick, I got to tell you, I'm going to go a little bit off the board. I'm going to give people a different look here.
Fair.
And I've been looking at a lot of film this year.
All right.
And I've been seeing a connection here. Phillip Rivers and T.Y. Hilton. Okay, look out for this combination, guys. I love the matchups when T.Y. is healthy.
Right.
Especially against those Jags and Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Texans could be a little rough sometimes, but T.Y. usually has good games against them.
Right.
But as a Colts fan, you guys should be extremely excited for this, because Phillip Rivers knows how to put a ball in people's hands.
Yep.
And his accuracy is absolutely incredible. He's so durable. You know, as you know, you've drafted him over the years. You love drafting
I have drafted him.
those Phillip Rivers with those 300 passing yards and 3 touchdown kind of days.
Yep.
I love that combination.
Right.
And then, of course, in the NFC, I got to go with Aaron Rodgers and DeVante Adams.
Yeah, that is a great combo.
I think that chemistry is absolutely unbelievable.
Right.
DeVante Adams, we posted on our story. Very, very, very smart individual.
Mm-hmm.
This guy just knows how to read defenses, knows how to read coverages, and he knows how to obviously separate from cornerbacks.
Right, absolutely.
And that's what DeVante Adams does, guys. He gets you touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers will put it right on the money because he's Aaron Rodgers. So make sure in fantasy football to do that Rodgers and Adams tandem.
Absolutely.
It's going to help you a lot. But Nick, I want to go a little off the board here now.
All right.
I want to go a little off. We've seen a lot of rookie wide receivers develop here.
Right.
You know, who do you think's going to be that breakout rookie if there is one this year?
All right, I'm going to go with someone who was drafted in the first round this year, Jeudy out of Alabama, Roll Tide. I believe he's in a perfect scenario with Drew Lock, another rookie quarterback who he's going to grow with and develop that chemistry with. And I just think it's the perfect situation for him because they've invested so many resources and draft picks into that offense this year. And I believe, you know, Cortland Sutton, who's an emerging star.
Absolutely.
In the wide receiver category.
Very good.
He's going to get double covered a lot. And on the other side, you're going to have Jeudy, who's going to get matched up against the secondary cornerbacks. And I believe that if he can win all of those one-on-one matchups, he can be in line for a very, very productive season.
Nick, I got to agree with you there. I think the Broncos are a massive sleeper team.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're big on Drew Lock this year.
Yep.
Should be interesting, guys. Should be very interesting. I'm personally going to go with Justin Jefferson out of LSU.
Yep.
And let me tell you, this guy is an absolute stud.
Yep.
They got rid of Stephon Diggs, the Vikings. He went to Buffalo. I mean, that's a great combination. That should be interesting with Josh Allen. But
right.
Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen's going to get all the attention in that offense.
Absolutely.
And here comes Justin Jefferson out of nowhere. He's going to pick apart teams.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tremendous route runner.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be very interesting.
And you see it now more throughout the years, especially over the last couple of years, that those slot guys, those guys that primarily play the slot, are becoming more valuable in PPR leagues because they just eat up receptions. It's very easy for the quarterback to throw to the slot receiver. So the more slot guys you can get in your team for depth or for starting purposes, you're going to reap the rewards.
That's a great point, Nick,
Yeah.
especially in the red zone where, you know, the not so great cornerbacks are covering them. They usually have a nickel package
Yep.
or a dime.
Absolutely.
And it should be interesting.
I agree.
It should be interesting.
I agree.
Nick, I think we should move forward to, I really wanted to get your opinion on this.
All right.
I know I love to talk about Tom Brady because
Right.
I'm so happy he's not in the AFC East anymore.
Right, for sure.
How is this going to work between Tom Brady and Chris Godwin
Uh-huh.
and Tom Brady and Mike Evans? Like, he's got a lot of people to share around. So
Right.
I wanted to ask you, there's a lot of spreading the wealth in this league,
Right.
right? Who do you think out of a team in general, who do you think's going to get, like you could say the Bucks now,
Right.
who do you think's going to get that more target share for anybody else? Would you
Like you're saying Godwin over
yeah.
Evans?
Would
Oh,
you-
okay.
Like how do you manage that? Like who would you pick over
Okay,
over each other?
so I think they're both going to have fantastic seasons. Brady's a lot more accurate than Jameis, and he won't turn the ball over as much as Winston has over the past couple of years. But I think Godwin is going to eat up more of the yards because he can play in the slot and run those short to medium routes. And I mean, so can Mike Evans, don't get me wrong, but I believe Mike Evans is going to be that rebounder, so to say. I mean, I believe he's going to go deep to Mike Evans a lot, one-on-one, just throw it up to him and say, hey, Big Mike, go make that play. So I believe that Godwin's going to chew up more of the yards, and Evans is going to get you more of those touchdowns.
I think that's a great point, Nick.
Yeah.
And I got to actually move to another wide receiver duo that
Right.
I really like too. Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry.
Right, absolutely.
You know, we saw it last year. Odell didn't really get that production that people wanted.
Yep.
But I know you're big on him. I'm big on him. I love Odell this year.
Right.
I think this is going to be a shocking year for Odell.
Right.
He's just going to surprise so many people. Jarvis Landry, I think, takes a strong backseat, in my opinion.
Right.
And Odell is, I know that guy's pumped up. There's no way you can come off a season like that with the Browns. I know he was angry.
Yep.
But he's going to see some unbelievable opportunities here to shine.
Agreed.
In Cleveland. But you never know with the Browns. That's the problem.
True.
They make all these crazy decisions sometimes. I mean, hopefully they get their stuff together. But it should be interesting in that offense, right? New offensive coordinator.
New offensive coordinator. He came from Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I believe that if he runs a similar style in Minnesota as he does in Cleveland, I believe Odell can have a strong year, a bounce-back year. And he said on his Instagram in the offseason that 2020 is going to be his best year. And, I mean, do we believe him? Do we not? We're going to find out.
Exactly.
I wouldn't mind taking a chance on him again if he's there in the early second round to mid-second round.
Exactly.
Why not?
Nick,
high risk, high reward.
Nick, let's talk a bit about our teams.
Okay.
I know we got some wide receivers that we're hyped about.
Right.
Start with your Bengals first.
Sure. So last year, AJ was obviously injured the whole entire season, so a lot of the attention and double teams were going to Tyler Boyd. But I think this year, there's just too many mouths to feed, and that's definitely a good problem to have. You're going to have AJ Green on the outside, Tyler Boyd in the slot. Now, I mean, you take your pick on the other side. You're going to have either John Ross, T. Higgins, Auden Tate can make some great plays. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that Joe Burrow, Tyler Boyd connection, kind of similar to the Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson connection at LSU. And I believe that he is going to take the reins on this offense this year and cement himself as the new number one for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wow. That's bold.
That's my prediction for this year, and I wouldn't be surprised. I love him. Nobody's had more yards throughout the past couple of years in the slot than Tyler Boyd, so that's something to look out for. And like I said, you can't double everybody. You can only double.
I think a lot of the attention obviously is going to go to AJ. I mean,
absolutely.
Finally, I think that guy's hyped up.
Right,
I mean,
absolutely.
Andy Dalton, I know.
Couldn't throw the deep ball for his life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So AJ Green, he's definitely a phenomenal route runner, and he's just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to get used to catching balls on the run this year. I mean, that was a big problem last year with Andy Dalton, where he wouldn't lead his guys to where they needed to go.
Joe Burrow knows how to do that.
Joe Burrow knows how to do that, and I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am. I gotta tell you, and
I gotta tell you how excited I am.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, DeVante Parker, everybody.
Yep.
Out of nowhere.
What a season.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Double coverage, triple coverage, you name it.
Yep.
Nobody has stopped DeVante Parker this year, and that's why I love him so much.
Right.
He is absolutely incredible. I don't know if it's going to be Fitzpatrick or Tua. Probably Fitzpatrick.
For the first bit.
But that chemistry between Fitzpatrick and DeVante Parker, you're going to see a little Fitz magic at the beginning. Then you never know. He might throw 4 interceptions one game, and then boom, here comes Tua.
But Parker's going to get his targets and his volume. Yeah,
exactly, guys.
Absolutely.
In the matchups, I know he's going to probably have problems with Gilmore, but even in those matchups, he still performed well for Miami. I'll never forget that game last season against the Eagles. Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
absolutely annihilated that secondary.
Absolutely,
and DeVante Parker's a future stud. I'm so happy Miami signed this guy. Now it's just a matter of putting all the other pieces together.
Right, absolutely.
Finally, I have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's heaven. It's heaven.
Having a great wide receiver is fun to watch. That's for sure.
Exactly. Oh, I'll tell you what, Nick. We got a pocket dial right now.
All right.
Hi, how are you? Welcome to the Pocket Presence Podcast. Thank you for pocket dialing us. What's your name?
My name's Anthony.
Anthony, how are you? How's it going? We got Dante and Nick over here.
How are you guys?
We're good.
Not
We're
bad,
good.
not bad.
We're good. Having some fun. You're our first ever pocket dial, literally. Yeah. In the history of the Pocket Presence Podcast.
Major accomplishment.
Exactly. Who's your favorite team, Anthony? Who's your favorite team?
The Indianapolis Colts.
The Indianapolis Colts. Oh, we were just talking about that earlier, Nick.
Yeah, we were, and you know what? It's a breath of fresh air to not hear the Steelers, Cowboys, or Patriots
or the Bills
as someone's favorite team.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's a breath of fresh air.
Oh, man. So, Anthony, we were talking a bit about the wide receivers. and we just wanted to know your input. I mean, you can ask us anything, but if you have any questions for us, what do you think's going to happen this season?
You know what? I first and foremost, I hope that there is a season.
Absolutely.
That's a fair point.
So do we.
That's number one.
Yeah.
But no, I think the wide receiver position this year, I think it's better than ever. I think there's so many teams with loaded receiving cores that you don't know who's going to be a star, who's going to shine, who's going to break out, who's going to drop. Just this season, it's weird in a way to start, but just the receiving core is just, to think on who's getting the touches and all those receptions, it's tough to manage this year because of everything going on.
I couldn't agree more with I couldn't agree more with that.
I agree. Who are you going to be targeting this year, Anthony, in fantasy drafts?
I mean, you gotta look at the top ones, right? Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, Julio Jones, Hopkins.
Right.
I love Hopkins. I know you guys talked about that a couple weeks ago. I love DeAndre Hopkins in Arizona, by the way. He's a great fit. Out of the AFC South, I am happy with that. No questions asked.
Absolutely.
I agree.
But yeah, no, I think I look at Arizona, deep wide receiving core. The Dallas Cowboys, too, that's an interesting core. What do they do with CeeDee Lamb?
Absolutely. Agreed.
Even your Bengals, Nick, I think everybody sleeps on the Bengals, but they got probably one of the best receiving cores, underrated receiving cores.
Don't make me cry. Don't make me cry right now. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Especially with AJ Green healthy. If AJ Green's healthy, it's top 10, I think, receiving core in the NFL. But if not, it obviously goes down.
I'm not trying to be biased, but once again, I couldn't agree more with that statement.
Yeah, for sure. So I got a question for you guys.
Sure. What is it?
So who are your top sleepers in the wide receiving position? Who are the top sleepers that you guys are looking at in your fantasy drafts?
You want to go first, Nick?
You can go first. I'll pass this one over to you.
I mean, I've answered him earlier. I'm obsessed with Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
I think everyone's sleeping on this guy, Anthony. And without Diggs there, he's going to rack up targets like you wouldn't believe. And he's going to lead your team to a fantasy championship. That's my honest opinion. I absolutely love that guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily call him a sleeper, but I've seen him go fairly late in fantasy drafts, and I'm having a hard time believing it because he's an emerging star at the position, and I mentioned him earlier on the podcast, but I believe Courtland Sutton's going to take that next step, and you're going to mention his name in the top 10 wide receivers by the end of this season.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
What do you think? Yeah. Who do you think? Who would you say is one of your sleepers that you're targeting?
I got two that come to mind. My first one is a little biased on my team, but I love Paris Campbell.
Okay.
I think you're going to see him in the slot. You're going to see him on the outside. He's going to be used very, very well and a lot more than people think that he is.
Right.
Yeah.
But I agree with Dante with Justin Jefferson. I'll stay in that division. I'm going to go Alan Lazard with Green Bay.
Ooh.
Oh, Alan Lazard.
That's
wow.
a deep sleeper.
All right.
Deep sleeper. I like that one.
I mean, if you're in a deep league, someone like that, he's got wide receiver 2 potential written all over him.
Agreed.
And,
yep.
I mean, did the Packers draft a wide receiver in the draft? I don't think they did.
They didn't draft anybody.
They didn't draft
at that position, at least.
They just drafted a quarterback.
Yep.
But, no, I think Alan Lazard, if you're in a deep league, you need a wide receiver that's going to give you potential.
Right.
He's going to be there in 13, round 14. I've done some drafts. He's still a free agent.
Honestly, I was just about to say
he's a free agent.
He can be a free agent.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's going to be one of those pickups week 2, week 3 that everyone's going to jump on. I like him. I know it's a deep league, but I'll take that.
Well, Anthony, we got to thank you for your time. Really appreciate the call. And thank you for pocket dialing. And if you have any other questions, DM us. Just like for all the fans, all our Pocket Presence fans out there, please DM us, guys, or come on the show just like Anthony just did and pocket dial us while we're on air. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate your time.
Sure. For sure. Yeah, guys, I'm so honored I was your first call, and I hope you guys nothing but the best. I'll be in contact with you guys for sure.
Thank you very
Anthony.
much. Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good night.
All right, guys. Take care.
Take care.
Hi, welcome to the Pocket Presents podcast. I'm
Hey,
here with
guys, how you
Nick
doing?
and Dante. Hi, what's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for coming
No
on the
worries,
show.
guys. How you
Appreciate it.
doing?
You didn't call the wrong number, did you?
No.
Okay, good. We're just making sure.
Oh, so Jerry, who's your favorite team?
I think I'm a big Seahawks fan, guys. I love the
Oh,
Seahawks.
here we go.
Yeah,
Russell
you know,
Wilson.
Nice.
My man. All right.
Ever since Beast Mode made that run against the Saints, I just absolutely fell in love.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, that was a fantastic run.
Yeah, absolutely. Marshawn Lynch in that game. Oh my goodness. Oh my
Yep.
goodness. Well, Jerry, we're talking a lot about the wide receivers right now. So we were talking about a bit, that Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett connections. But yeah, if you want to ask us anything, we're here. We're here at your service.
It's good that you guys are talking about wide receivers because my question is more little fantasy football related.
Sure.
With not too many obviously you got your star running backs like Derrick Henry, Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon, those big guys.
Right.
It's not really a deep position. So what were you guys? Maybe here's a good scenario here. You got the 12th pick on a snake draft in a 0.5 PPR league.
Half a
Are you
point?
taking two wide receivers?
Yeah.
Half point PPR
Yep.
league. Are you taking two wide receivers? Or are you taking? You're gonna try to get reach for whatever.
That's a
running back
really
you
good
think may
question.
fall at that position.
I think I'm going to answer this one for
Yeah,
you.
you go for it, Nick.
So last year I did a draft, and I was at the end. I wasn't 12th pick, but I was like 9th or 10th, and it was a half a point PPR league, and the guys I was drafting with weren't the smartest people, so I ended up grabbing Michael Thomas, and when it snaked back around, I grabbed DeVante Adams, and long story short, I won the league. And so, the zero running back strategy is being used more often. And obviously, Michael Thomas, DeVante Adams, Julio Jones, they might all go before you pick at 12. But if you want to try new things and try to grab two stud wide receivers, that wouldn't be a very good. That wouldn't be a very bad show by any means, because the amount of volume that the number ones get on their respective teams in a half point PPR league, I don't think you can go wrong, especially now that the running backs, a lot of the teams are taking that running back by committee approach.
Oh, I'm with you there.
Right.
I'm with you there. I think the wide receivers going two wide receivers is definitely more valuable.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like I said, all the running backs are going by committee, and even if you do get a pass catching back that can do it all.
And especially at the 12th pick, I don't know who you guys think what kind of running backs you think would fall all the way to 12, right?
Well, Jerry, I could answer that too. I think obviously, as Nick said, you're gonna probably want to target those wide receivers because they're gonna fall with all the running backs. But what's gonna fall to you, I think, is more, hopefully, God willingly, Clyde Edwards-Helaire falls to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would more realistic approach.
The Chiefs running back, yeah.
Chiefs running back, yeah.
So, but more realistic approach, you could see something like a Kenyon Drake following for you, Joe Mixon, Austin Eckler. You're going to see those names around, 12, 13, 14 range. But I really hope you get a stud wide receiver and then maybe Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's my personal opinion.
Right.
If you can land Clyde Edwards-Helaire at the 12th pick, that is an absolute steal. And a lot of people in front of you are completely going to regret that.
Yep. Plus, another good strategy for drafting at the end is to just take what the board gives you. If someone who was supposed to go at 7 is there at 12 and he's a running back or a wide receiver, but he wasn't necessarily your first choice, quotation marks.
Right.
Take him anyways because he's the best available and that's what the board has given you. That's another strategy when you're drafting at the back end.
Sometimes it's too good to be true, Jerry. Sometimes it's too good to be true. But Jerry, I got to thank you so much for your call. I really appreciate the question, and thank you for joining the Pocket Dial.
No problem, guys. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'll keep listening.
And we hope you win your league this year.
Yeah, good luck this year in fantasy football. And of course, guys, tune in just like Jerry did. Call in, Pocket Dial,
Yep.
and DM us all your questions on Instagram. Thank you, Jerry, again.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Take care. All right, guys. Well, as you saw, we got 2 amazing guests
Yep.
on the Pocket Dial. You guys can call in anytime you want. DM us anytime you want. We'll answer your questions. Thank you so much, guys. But before we leave, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Fresh House Juice Bar, guys. 2 locations, Keele and Major Mac, Pine Valley and Highway 7. You go to Mike. The nutritional extravaganza production at Fresh
Yep.
House is unbelievable. And of course, the PILBROIII family, PILBROIII Carpentry. They build homes, not houses. Nick, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely, always.
Follow us on Instagram, guys, at the Pocket Presence Pod, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Pocket Presence Podcast. Take care, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.